Have you been playing Super Metroid?
Nah, not really. I got hooked on an LN, a light novel, and I wanted to finish it.
What is it?
It's called Everyone's a Returnee.
Everyone's returning?
Uh, Close enough. It's a kind of a protagonist is insanely OP or whatever, that type of deal.
The protagonist is OP,
Yeah, overpowered.
so it's an action light novel.
Yeah, action RPG-ish.
What do you mean by RPG with a light novel?
Oh, like it plays out like a game.
Like Sword Art Online?
Similar, but there's no virtual world. It's happening on Earth.
Like Beyblade or Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, pretty much. Just replace the card duels with actual swords and monsters just run around and stuff like that.
Haven't heard of it. Is it just one installment?
It has what do you mean one installment?
Is there a sequel, a prequel? Is it a
Oh,
series?
it was a it's a string of chapters. A light novel comes and it's like a it's a series, but in novel form.
Yeah, I know what light novels are. It's just
Yeah,
one light novel.
there's no second. And even if there was, I don't feel like reading the second one.
You don't feel like you should return?
I do not wish to return to the series. I'm satisfied of how everything ended, or I mean, it was a fun novel. It's just I don't like harems.
I've heard that word. What does that mean again? Isn't that
Multiple
a
wives,
girl? Oh, yeah. I knew it has something to do with women.
multiple girlfriends. I just don't like that. I don't like that ending. It feels too optimistic.
Optimistic to have multiple wives.
It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. It feels like it doesn't feel right. But it was a happy ending, so can't complain.
I've never read a light novel, but my friend DeAndre, he really likes, I think it's called Spice and Wolf, and
Oh,
I think it's a graphic novel or a light novel. I forgot which one.
it's also an anime.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. I've never really read any light novels. Those have images, right?
No, the ones I do. I don't know if they usually do, but the ones I do are just words. Just a string of books that tell the story.
Wait, so is that the same as a novella?
I'm not sure.
Because a novella is just a short book.
Maybe. I mean, there's different ways to say it. I mean, no, if the novel is released in Japan, it's light novel. If it's released in China, it's called a manhwa. I know if it's released in.
If it's released in LucasArts, it's called a Jedi novel.
um, and recently, webtoons, webcomics. I think might be Korea. I'm not sure.
So it sounds like it's just a novella.
Yeah, some of them are really long though. The reason I picked this one up is because it actually got finished. Like it was 348 chapters.
That's almost one chapter a day for a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, and, the ones I'm currently reading, I'm reading more than one, but they take a while to update and, oh, they're long. Like, one's 1,000 something, and the other one's, volume 55, but I think it's technically 2 chapters for yeah, it's long. It's the same thing, about 1,000 chapters.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're still ongoing, and yeah. That's me on my end.
All right, so how about we just get started?
Okie dokie.
Fuck, still gotta figure out how to do this. Hello and welcome to Peer Inward Episode 7. It's March 2nd, 2020, and my name is John Sunyo, and I'm joined by Derek Uy.
Stop.
I recently started writing these articles on Tumblr because I like that I'm able to embed videos and picture photos on them without any cost. Because if I were to do it on Google Docs, it would eventually eat up my Google Cloud storage, I assume. So
Uh,
I didn't want to just do it on there. I like editing on Google Docs more than Tumblr, but the limitation of the media. So, first thing we have is Samurai Jack Battle Through Time announced for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. A new Samurai Jack game has been revealed to be released this summer. Developed by Soye, I don't know, I think that's a French word, Games. I think it means moon or sun. And published by Adult Swim Games, Samurai Jack Battle Through Time is the first game based on Tartakovsky's animated series to emerge in over 15 years. The script is penned by Derek Bachman, who also served as head writer for the fifth and final season of the TV series. Soye Games, founded in 2008 in Japan, that's not France, is headed by a staff notable for previously working on Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden, unless there's a Japan, France somewhere that I don't know of. Samurai Jack Battle Through Time will come to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC sometime this summer. Did you take a look at the trailer for this?
I have indeed.
Yeah, have you watched Samurai Jack?
Oh yeah, I watched all season 1 through 5. It was awesome. I'm still a fan.
You liked season 5?
Um, Not the ending, but I did like everything else.
Okay. I was watching it as a kid when it was coming out because this show is actually really old and it's kind of odd that they added a fifth season. I don't even really remember it much because it was a long time ago, but I didn't see the fifth season, which came out maybe 3 years ago. And I just remember the feel of the show that it kind of makes me think of Metroid, where it's usually just one guy just traveling, like Samus just going around and not really. Were there a lot of characters that he ran into? It didn't really feel like he
Uh,
was always surrounded by people.
in terms of reoccurring characters, there's one, but in terms of enemy, it's just it's a coup. But in
Hmm.
terms of yeah, it's just one recurring character 3 times, and everything else was always random.
Yeah, the announcement of this game made me wanna watch the series.
Me too. I've been watching clips on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this again.
I thought the gameplay looked interesting. It looks like it could be good, but then there's just something that automatically makes me doubt it because when I looked at this team, one of the games that they're known for are those one of the I don't know how many Naruto games there are, but they've worked on the Naruto games. Yeah, there's a lot of Japanese games that just aren't worth shit. Well, no, not no. They're
Let me
they're
backtrack.
you can tell that they're not on the same level as Western games a lot of the times, except for maybe Zelda or Kojima's games or From Software.
Yeah, but those are like major brands.
Yeah,
Like they got like a lot of people behind it. They got a lot. Also have a history and a legacy to keep up. Well, I get what you mean. There's some Japanese games out there that are just I don't know. They tailor to a small fan base they know they're gonna get, and so
well,
their games
no,
are kind of.
because Dragon Quest 11, that's one of the biggest RPGs in Japan, but
Mhm.
the production values, they just don't look. Remember I told you about that thing of when you move the stick, the character, it'll either just suddenly turn in that direction or they'll have an animation depending
Mhm.
on the quality of the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing the demo for Dragon Quest 11 and that just reminded me of the lower echelon of I just have this thing with Japanese games where so many of them are just when I see a character just all of a sudden turn, I just think, oh, here we go. It's fucking Code Vein or Dot Hack or fucking. Anyway, I wonder how much this game will cost because it doesn't look like a $60 game. I feel
Yeah, it
like it
didn't
would
feel
be
like
a
that too.
middle of the road one.
If it was $60, I wonder if what they would put in it to make it $60, you know?
Side quests.
But that'd be feel stupid. Samurai Jack isn't like, it'd be kinda cool to explore the world, but the series wasn't played like that. It was a series of encounters that he did. He was always moving forward, never revisiting anywhere.
He always traveled forward in time.
Yeah, like, I don't think there was a time where he was able to go back. I mean, the whole point of him was trying to find a way back in time, and every time he got close, he was always interrupted or he sacrificed it for the greater good. But yeah, every situation was different. Every time he kept going forward, different planet, different area of the Earth.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta watch it. I hardly remember it.
It was always fun, even though it was set in the very far, far future. They were able to make homages to the past, like westerns and even Spartans. I don't know, I just thought that was dope.
All right, so we have two new announcements from Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital has announced Disc Room, a top-down sci-fi exhibition of fatally sharp discs, launching on PC in 2020. Disc Room is set in the year 2089 and involves a team of scientists investigating an enormous disk looming over Jupiter. Players must wade through both swift and slow-moving discs alike, and of varying sizes and formations, emphasizing the defensive aspect of the bullet hell genre. Disc Room is a joint effort between Kitty Callis, Jan Willem Nijman, Terry Velman, and Dose One, some of whom were responsible for 2017's High Hell and 2018's Minute. It is scheduled to come to Steam later this year.
Dude, when I read it earlier, we made the same mistakes. Or not the same
What?
mistakes, but we pronounced it the same way. It was like, Ninchman?
I
Okay.
think that's a Swedish name. Definitely not
Uh,
American. Yeah. Did you watch the trailer for this one?
yeah, it really did look like a bullet hell game.
But without the offense. Just looked like an obstacle course.
Pretty much, it's like Meat Boy, but top down.
For some reason, I really like the character design of the little dude. He's just this fucking Buzz Lightyear looking guy with these big ass hands. I really like it. He looks like he curses a lot.
I was cursed too in a room with a bunch of spinning blades.
This is really I'm looking forward to this. So Devolver announced two games, and the difference between this and the other game is that this one is coming out on Steam, and then the other game is coming out on as an Epic Game Store exclusive, and then it's also coming out on Switch.
Hmm.
So that's kind of interesting because they're both from the same publisher. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. Sludge Life is a lo-fi open world. Following the reveal of Disc Room, Devolver Digital announced its second new game this week, and it goes by the name of Sludge Life. Similar to Disc Room and High Hell, the game is in development by Terry Velman and Adam Dose One Drucker, known for his work on soundtracks such as for Enter the Gungeon and Samurai Gun. The visuals resemble High Hell's low-fidelity art style, albeit with deliberate aliasing. Players will find themselves on a polluted, open-world island, rife with corporate imagery, as they photograph and tag their surroundings with graffiti through the first-person perspective of graffiti artist Ghost. Okay, I used graffiti too many times there. I should have proofread it. That sounds weird. Sludge Life is planned to come this spring on Nintendo Switch and Epic Game Store. With the previously announced Disc Room having only a release year, one could expect Sludge Life to debut first.
Hmm. I checked the trailer of this game and I was really interested.
I like the art style. The name really fits it well. Sludge and Life. Sludge because it's really dirty. You could see at the beginning when Ghost is paragliding down, you could see that the distance that you can see is so short because of all the smog in the air. And then the life part of the title is really fitting because you talk with NPCs around the world, around the island. You take photos of them. You have you have your own computer where you play a game within the game. So I feel like Sludge Life is really apt for this game. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I really want to see how in depth the world is, how much the city you can explore, what kind of wacky and crazy things you can do. Because it looked like you kept, I don't know, it looked like there was a bunch of fun interactions with the NPCs.
Yeah, I wonder if this is Devolver's first game that they're publishing that is going to be open world. Because this game is only being worked on by, I think, two people, and one of them is just doing the soundtrack. I don't know if there are any
Whoa.
other people working on it, but it'll be interesting to see an open world by a small team. It makes me wonder what kind of game Devolver would publish if they were doing a full $60 game. Because you could
Hmm.
tell this is not going to be $60, probably 15 or 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really like just the grimy feel to this game.
yeah. I like the wackiness of it. I like the atmosphere.
The cat with two assholes,
That was weird, but interesting.
or the anthropomorphic fly. I thought he looked really cool. Or when the dude walked in on that woman and she was just standing there with a knife impaled into her palm. It's crazy. Yep. So we got this. Also, this is really interesting. Devolver, what they're doing, they revealed two games in within a week of each other, and both of them are coming to PC, but one of them is exclusive to Epic Game Store and going to Switch, while the other one is only confirmed for Steam, as far as I know. It's really interesting. I know they're different people working on the games, but they're the same publisher. I wonder if Epic was interested in Disc Room, because that's not an exclusive on the Epic Game Store.
Or they're only interested in Sludge Life.
Yeah, because they were obviously interested in Sludge Life because it's going to be an exclusive, but Disc Room is not. All right, so moving on to the last bit. 505 Games will be bringing Kojima Productions' Death Stranding to Steam and Epic Games Store, as well as physically to retail on June 2nd, 2020. As seen in the release date trailer, featuring Sony Interactive Entertainment in the beginning splash screen, Death Stranding will make its debut on PC alongside new features to take advantage of the platform, including support for higher frame rates, ultra-wide displays, and a photo mode not previously seen on the PS4 version of the game.
That's kind of funny.
Additionally, the game will feature cross-promotion content from Valve's Half-Life, such as a wearable head crab. However, it is unknown as to whether it will have an effect on gameplay similar
Uh,
to the Otter Hood improving swimming capabilities, or merely serving as a cosmetic item. Death Stranding for PC comes nearly 7 months after it originally released as a PS4 exclusive by way of Sony Interactive Entertainment in November of last year.
it's kind of cool though if it had a feature, the head crab.
Yeah, you could wear it on your head or in your underwear. Yeah, have you heard about a lot of games that they do this? They when they release on Steam, they'll have some sort of Half-Life content in them.
I didn't know it was done multiple times.
Yeah, they range from big to small games.
Huh.
It's funny because Half-Life lives on in other games without actually a game of its own. Although we have Half-Life Alex coming this month.
Yeah, wonder how that's going to be received.
That'll be a really big test of how strong Half-Life is because everyone wants another Half-Life game, but not everyone has a VR headset. And you can't even play it outside of VR.
And let's just hope it's buggy free and the controls aren't honky.
Crab free.
No, it's Half Life. Gotta have some crabs.
Yeah. So that's all the news. There are a few things I wanted to write about, like GDC being postponed, but I didn't really have time for it because writing these things it takes a while to do them. I don't want to just simply regurgitate what's already known. Kind of want to throw in a few things in there that just add some context or but have you heard about GDC being delayed?
This is the first time hearing it.
Yeah, so for anyone listening who doesn't know what GDC, it's short for Game Developers Conference, and I think it's always been held in San Francisco, but it's an event, but it's mostly, I mean, as you can tell by the name, it's mostly a developer event. So you're not going to see E3 levels of announcements. It's a place for developers to have
T.
what do you call it?
What?
Talk notes or keynotes?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Keynotes, TED Talks.
Yeah, like a summit or I don't know. It's a place where developers have their own lectures on, let's say, diversity in video games or fucking battle royales or just anything to share knowledge or insight.
Make sure not to copy the Fortnite bus. I cannot stress this enough.
But yeah, it's not really a consumer event. I mean, I was looking at the tickets and I if they were cheap enough, I would have gone because San Francisco's not that far away from us. But I can't really remember. I think there's something like $250 for a ticket. So yeah, it's really not really meant for consumers. I don't even know if you can go without being a developer. I think maybe I wouldn't be surprised if you have to show, you know, show
Show a
who you
game you
are.
made. Oh.
Yeah.
Bring a copy of the game and just be like, hey, I made this, let me.
Yeah, I made this game. It's called Rochambeau. You can play it with your hands without any batteries.
The platforms are written on your hand. Here, look. PS4, Xbox connected.
Oh wow. Cross buy with Xbox Series X. But throughout the week, so many companies and developers and publishers were just pulling out of GDC. And then eventually, GDC made an announcement that they were going to delay the event. I think it was supposed to take place the end of February up until yesterday. And then following that, just recently, I think it was today, that the ESA announced that they're still planning on having E3 this year. I
Hmm,
mean, we all know, and everyone should probably know, if you've never fucking heard of the fucking coronavirus,
yeah,
that's why GDC was postponed. And now the question is, what other events this year could be postponed? And the ESA has said, yeah, we still plan full on to do what was it? We are moving ahead full speed with E3 2020 planning. But then they also say, given what we know at this time, so you can kind of read that if it gets bad enough, they're not gonna do E3.
yeah.
I wonder if COVID-19 gets worse to where they actually do have to cancel E3. I wonder if that's gonna hurt E3 more than it's already hurt now. Because with Sony pulling out
True.
and Jeff Keighley pulling out.
It's entirely possible, depending on the duration of this virus and how it spreads. A lot of events could be hurting. I mean, business, mainly in China, are hurting already, right? So it's just gonna, just as the virus spreads, business also is just gonna
Yeah,
reflect
I
that.
think it's affecting production of Valve's VR headset. They haven't shipped out an order in a long time because they just can't get anything manufactured.
Yeah,
But companies like Nintendo, they have whenever they're at E3 these past few years, they just have a huge Nintendo Direct. I mean, they do have an in-person presence after the Nintendo Direct. They have demos, more in-depth. called Nintendo Treehouse, but the main thing that people watch is a Nintendo Direct, and I can watch that from my desk right over here.
True.
And if E3 is canceled during the year of a console launch, yeah, I'm just curious as to how the event will fare going forward.
If they do go forward, they will see a lot of masks. That or some weird game publisher radiation suits.
Yeah, everyone's just looking like they're about to make some meth.
Or like, you know those suits for the full body suits that look like a costume, like a Sly Cooper or whatever? They're retrofitted to be radiation suits, so they're also promoting the games and also
Oh, that's actually funny you say Sly Cooper because the developers behind the Sly Cooper HD collection and the most recent Sly Cooper game
Mhm.
was actually bought,
Oh,
I think 2 weeks ago or last week. They were bought by Facebook.
what?
Sanzaru Games.
Why? By Facebook?
In their blog post, they were talking a lot about their experience with VR because I didn't even know this until I read the post. But Sanzaru Games, they make a bunch of VR games,
Huh.
and yeah, I guess they want them to, yeah, because Facebook owns Oculus, so I'm sure they want them
Yeah.
to just make a bunch of Oculus shit.
Okay. That's surprising.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that suit that you're talking about though. When I thought you were gonna say, you
No,
know
it was
those
like
fucking sex suits that are just where it's even covering your face, the black
the
suits.
gimp suit.
Is that what it's called?
It's called a gimp suit. The reason I know that's because of Saints Row. But I was speaking metaphorically. I was just effing around. I thought it'd be funny if in order to keep presenting E3, they would put radiation suits outfitted to look like game characters.
That would be in bad taste though.
Yeah, yeah, it would. Well, a Metroid suit would be hard to tell.
Yeah, just inject everyone with the DNA of a Metroid. Yeah, Samus would probably be the only human alive if it became a true what do you I don't know the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic, but you know what I mean. If it became a true crisis, she would probably be the only one alive. Because remember in Metroid Fusion, she got the Metroid DNA.
Yeah. Fusion.
Fusion. Huh. Yeah, so let's just talk about what we're playing now. Or what you're reading or watching, if anything.
I just finished the series. Everyone's a Returnee. It's a light novel. I don't know if it's popular, but I just
I thought you were saying everyone is returning this whole
ah
time.
nah, Returnee.
That's why my joke at the end was you don't think you want to return to it?
It still works.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone's an attorney and then what else?
Oh no, it's Returnee. Returnee. It's weird, but
Okay, whatever. That's an anime name I'll never know. Wait, so is it a bunch of people who love hanging on to their receipts and going back to the store to return their shit?
that'd be an interesting story, but no. But yeah, that's all I did. I was mainly hooked on that novel.
Hmm.
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
did it take you to read it?
This week actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, 340 chapters don't like kind of flies by, you know.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing Super Metroid still. That game, so this is my first time. This is the furthest I've ever gotten into Super Metroid. I've tried playing it maybe 3 or 4 different times, but I've never gotten as far as I have
Hmm.
this time. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I got the Varia suit, which I've never gotten. I actually kind of understand why people ride that game's dick, why that people are on that game's ass. I thought it was going to be similar to Metroid Fusion in terms of length, but this game is significantly longer than Metroid Fusion. I feel like the world is bigger and it doesn't tell you where to go at all.
Ah,
And
it sucks.
no, that's really good. Super Metroid's a really non-linear game. Backtracking, just finding out where you can go after you get something else. Whereas, because remember in Metroid Zero Mission, you had an actual blip on your map that was telling you, go here. But in Super Metroid, you don't have any of that. So I feel like in comparison, well, I'm sure they were just trying to streamline it, which for me, I would not like. Because I really just like going around the whole world, especially as big as it is. It must have taken a lot of thought as to how the map is laid out and where each ability is and the order of which you get everything. It's all so calculated.
I played a little bit in the beginning of Metroid Prime, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna return it to it.
Metroid Prime?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Metroid Prime, a little bit about the start, but I don't know, it just feels slower than Zero to me. I might return to it, but
You're talking about Metroid Prime?
yeah, or the one you sent. The
Oh, Super Metroid?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry,
Wait, why don't you like Super Metroid?
it just feels slow to me. I might return to it, but for now, nah.
As far as I've gotten now, it's made me very much appreciate Super Metroid. I actually know that I like it more than Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission.
Hmm.
The no hand-holding part. But there's this one time when there's this ostrich-looking alien bird that you see, and then it starts running really fast, and so you start chasing it to catch up to it, and then it stops in its place, and then just uses the momentum to jump up. Because you know how you could do that? I don't know if you could do that in Zero Mission, but the speed boots, it's basically telling you that you can do this with the speed boots. It's just demonstrating to you.
Huh.
And then there are also these little monkey aliens that were wall jumping left and right, just telling you, hey, you can do this. And I thought that was really cool.
Using the environment, sort of like a indirect tutorial in a way.
Yeah. And it's so cool because there was no dialogue. And there is not even an on-screen display saying, this is your health. I really appreciate it for that. And it's so nice that I can bring it with me. I was in my 6 o'clock class. I really liked how during our little break I could just play Super Metroid. Right now I'm a little stuck, but I'm sure I'll be able to get out of it. I've gotten stuck a few times, but have found my way out.
Yeah, same.
Have you played Zero Fusion?
Nope, have not.
Yeah, that one is very. It's if you like Zero Mission, then Fusion you'll probably like Fusion because they're basically the same game.
Cool. I did like Zero Mission.
But then that's the latest in the timeline, which is funny because that game came out, I think, in 2002. Let's see. Metroid. What was it? Yeah, it came out 2002. What the hell? It came out in 2002 in North America, and then it came out in Japan after that in 2003. That's weird.
Huh. Maybe they sense that people in America like Metroid better.
But even in America, Metroid is not one of Nintendo's strong IPs.
I mean, as all time, or
No, just in terms of commercial success.
huh?
That it doesn't really do well. But
That's unfortunate.
the day Metroid Fusion came out, let's see. Yeah, it was like fucking heaven because Metroid Prime came out at the same time as Metroid Fusion.
Hmm.
That was crazy. we've never had anything like that with not even with any of Nintendo's other franchises. A masterful 3D version of a franchise at the same time as a top-notch 2D version of the franchise.
It's pretty nice.
Just imagine if Super Mario World came out the same day as Super Mario 64.
That'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm basically just playing that, and then I picked up Young Link. I'm trying to use Young Link in Smash. I've
Ah,
tried using other characters, but they all have their own different acceleration speeds and gravity. But I kind of like Young Link.
what about Toon Link?
I haven't tried Toon Link. I think he looks kind of dopey, so I don't really want to use him. And his moves are a little different. His back aerial is not as overall appealing to me as Young Link's, because Young Link, his back aerial, he does this little double kick, but Toon Link, he
Ah,
just swipes his sword to the side.
yeah, that's true. Toon Link was more weapons oriented.
Well, they both have a bomb, boomerang, and arrow, but Toon Link's arrows are slower. They actually travel like they're a fucking frisbee. They both have a hook shot. I don't know if I'm saying it right, or is it a grappling hook?
You're right, Hookshot.
Okay. Toon Link also seems floatier. Yep. I also saw that Mario Kart Tour, is that what it's called on mobile, is
Oh,
gonna finally have multiplayer on March 8th.
wait, finally have multiplayer?
Yeah, because I forgot when it launched, maybe in November, but when it came out, it didn't have actual multiplayer. It would say that you're racing when you would race against people, or when you would race, it would have the usernames of actual people, but it would just be putting that on top of CPUs.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they even introduced a subscription service for it too.
What the
And then it's not until March 8th that they're actually putting in multiplayer. I feel like Nintendo it's just a different company with all their mobile shit.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because if you played Fire Emblem Heroes, that one is just definitely a mobile game. Mario Kart is definitely a mobile game. The only game that they've come out with that's not succumbing to the mobile bullshit was Mario Run. Because that game, all you did was you paid a flat fee and then you just had a game. But all of their games afterwards, like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, they're just nagging you for money.
Oh yeah, Pocket Camp. I remember having that.
That's some bullshit though. You could pay money to accelerate your crafting. Otherwise, some of them would take 5 minutes or a few hours.
Yeah, I tried my best to stick with it, but at some point it was exhausting checking up on it, dude.
It's just a bunch of side quests without actually controlling your character. All you did was just tap, 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 tap. I mean, you can move your character, but yeah, it's different from the mainline games.
Yeah, there was a Harry Potter mobile game a while back. I was really interested in it, but then it ended up being just you have to pay money for energy to do stuff, and it just got.
Isn't that the one that's inspired by Pokemon Go?
No, not that one. It was a Hogwarts stories type deal. You made your own character, and you went through. It's supposed to take place after Harry was saved as a baby. Point is, it's just not worth it.
I really don't give a fuck about Harry Potter, but I've seen every single movie. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care about him, but I've
Aw.
for some reason I've just cared to actually watch them.
Hmm. I like Harry Potter. I like the games for Xbox, and I like the Game Boy game.
Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, the Xbox game and the either Game Boy Advanced or Game Boy game. It was fun. It was like a turn-based. action game. It was pretty. Yeah.
That reminds me that Ty the Tasmanian Tiger HD is coming out on Switch on the 31st.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, it's also coming out on PS4. I don't know if it's the same day. I assume it is.
Wait, Tasmanian Tiger. That's the one with the boomerangs, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that game.
Yeah, they had a Kickstarter, I think, in October, and they were asking for 50,000. They got, I think, 130,000. One of the stretch goals was PS4, which they reached.
Dude, that game was just so fun with all the boomerangs and the open world. Ah,
I wonder if you would still like it though,
I feel like it would.
or if that's just nostalgia speaking.
That's true. It could be just nostalgia, but honestly, I think nostalgia can ride it. I think I could ride the game on nostalgia.
Yeah, there's a especially with the original Pokemon,
Hmm.
I can actually play that game and like it still. But I can totally see myself or see other people if they've never played Pokemon or any game like it, and then they tried Pokemon Red and Blue today. There's a lot of things that are just improved upon over the years. Yeah, I wonder how much it'll be. Maybe 25 or 30. Because I know that so one of the rewards to actually get the digital version on Switch, you had
Hmm.
to do, I think, you had to pledge $25. So I feel like maybe the game itself is going to be $30.
Seems reasonable. Oh wait, is this just the first Taz game or both?
It's just the first one. And actually there's
Oh,
4 of them.
I didn't know there was four.
Yeah, I think the 4th one was a 2D side scroller.
What?
Yeah, there's a second one had a subtitle, and then the third one I think it had a subtitle too.
Ah, Taz the Tasmanian.
I sent the launch trailer to Crizel, asking her if she would get it. She hasn't said anything yet though.
I mean, I played it on her Xbox. That's why I love the game.
Do you remember that code that made it so that there's just this fucking line, this vertical line showing you where everything was in the world?
Ah, I forgot it.
Yeah, so let's say that there's a gold collectible, and then if you turned on the cheat code, it would have this vertical line that just showed you where it was at, kind of like a spotlight.
I think I remember it. I think I was trying to help her collect it, and we had to put in the code.
How old were you when you were playing that?
I, how old was I? That's a good question.
Here, when did it come out? Came out on in 2002.
Okay, so
This was an EA game. What the fuck? EA would never publish anything like that today. Well, how old were you in 2002?
uh, 5? I'm not 5. I was not 5 years old.
Hmm.
What is going
Well,
on?
I mean, that's when it came out. You were probably playing
Yeah,
it later.
way later.
Oh yeah, and then she had that fucking Shrek Mario Party game.
That was fun though. Come on.
No, dude, that's nostalgia. I fucking bet you that's nostalgia.
Maybe. As a kid, everything was fun
As a
to me.
5-year-old, that's nostalgia.
Maybe it was like 8 or 9. But I just remembered every game that Grizel had. I was like, oh, that's fun. Oh, it's so fun.
Fusion Frenzy.
Ah, that's fun.
Yeah. And then she didn't have Halo, so I had to bring over Halo.
I remember this Crash game I had. It was like a Crash racing car game. I had a lot of fun with that.
Which system?
Xbox.
I think by that time Naughty Dog moved on. That's when they were doing they were doing Jack and Daxter then. So it was probably a different team who made that game.
Oh yeah, speaking of games we played, I was able to play Slay the Spire, the modded duelist.
Oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh thing? How
Yeah.
how so how easy was it to start it?
First time I tried getting it started, I didn't get it to load. I didn't subscribe to the other things that were necessary. I thought it was a bug because
Oh,
looking at the comments, someone said it didn't work for them. So I was like, okay, maybe they'll fix it. And then earlier today, I tried again, and then still the same. So I just did some research and I found out you had to subscribe to 3 other things to get it to work.
that's the same with Skyrim too. You have to download this main mod in order to download a bunch of other mods. I think you're just basically downloading some sort of framework.
Yeah, I had to download a duelist tracker, then a GIF thing, and then some other STS lib. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
But I got it up working.
Yeah, so how is it like?
It was fun. He's really complicated to use, but it was fun because I got to saw a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I remembered, and
Mhm.
he really stacks, dude. Like even easier than like the defect or fucking the silent and poison run. It's just he stacks so easily.
It just totally changes the gameplay, right?
Yeah, with summons and then tributes, and then oh, I couldn't keep track of all the debuffs. I was dishing out on all the buffs I was getting.
There's attack and defense mode.
No, there wasn't. It just adds another element to the game.
Hmm.
I That's what I was thinking too when I was like, "So are my monsters gonna appear?" No. Oh, every time I summon a monster, it activates sort of like an emblem that I can sacrifice later for another card. It's like spells replace powers, traps replace skills, and monsters replace attacks.
So after each turn, does your monster stay there?
Well, they count as a tribute, sort of like a counter, and you have a maximum of 5, and then you contribute them to either summon more stronger attacks or stronger spells and traps and stuff like that.
So they do stay there?
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. They don't stay on the field. You have to look at like the emblem and see a list of them that are still there.
I'd have to try it because when I tried it, I only played it for maybe 5 minutes.
But it's kind of cool. You can see the list, and if some monsters, when they stay on the field, they have an effect. Like if it's a rock monster, you get defense. If it's a fire monster, you do damage over time, stuff like that.
Were you able to get far with it?
Yeah, I got really far. I got to the 3rd floor on my first run.
Oh, nice. Because the enemies are still the same, right?
Yeah, the enemies are still the same. It felt weird fighting them with my dueling. Dude, there's so many packs. It's also kind of funny. The card rewards say they're what kind of pack they are. It's like rare pack, monster pack, skill pack, booster pack.
Oh, you can unlock some too?
Yeah, there's a bunch of cards, dude. I kept looking through it. That said insect deck, machine deck, Exodia
What?
deck, fucking um, fiend deck, magician deck. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing. There's too many fucking cards.
So he's basically multiple characters because you could just have multiple decks.
Exactly. Unlike the Ironclad, which is either defense or crazy attack, or the Silent, which is either poison or crazy shiv, the Duelist has so many freaking. It's just crazy. You can either go like insane defense, monsters with a bunch of a block on them if they stay in the field, or crazy offense that keep spouting debuffs if you. Uh, it's just so versatile.
Yeah, and I think that was made by one guy too.
He did a good job.
But when I tried it, some of the visuals kind of seemed you can tell that it was a guy just doing it on his free time.
Yeah, the Duelist character model isn't that impressive. It's just basically a 2D paint a picture of Yugi.
Or some of the words bled off of the card.
Oh, I think it's fixed a bit better now.
Oh, okay.
But it's still long as fuck, dude. Some of it was rising up to the like above my screen.
Yeah, but the core of it seems really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I would probably play him a bunch of times. There's a lot of content there. Like Ironclad has like 4 unlocks, Yu-Gi-Oh has 30.
Oh my god. You mean 30 different cards?
It's 30 different unlocks. Like there's a bunch of decks I haven't unlocked yet.
Oh.
It's basically you keep playing if you want to. The more you play them, the more you unlock. But I don't see an end.
Wonder if there are any other cool mods for the game.
I'm actually kind of fine with the duelist. Plus, I still have to finish a run with the Watcher,
Hmm.
and it's difficult.
Did you hear about the override event for Apex that's starting tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I saw your post.
Looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool, but they downgrade the long game. Like medkits are only 2 now.
Yeah. Medkits and batteries are 2. Syringes and cells are stacks of 4.
I guess they're trying to decrease the likelihood of people just stacking them, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how it changes everything.
It's harder to survive, that thing. And also it's harder to stack up on grenades if you have a big ass backpack. I remember that was like a recurring theme. People kept tossing grenades endlessly.
Yeah, I think they definitely want to cut down on grenade spamming. They absolutely buffed Bloodhound though.
Yeah, his range is longer, and
3 times as long.
it makes sense considering Bloodhand's uses only were useful in like minute situations, you know? If you don't know where the enemy is and you're like in Bangalore smoke or he's above you and you really want to see if he's coming down or outside or
They also said that they wanted Bloodhound to be more of a when you're not in combat, but when you're exploring.
I get that. I felt like that's how people tried using him before when it first came out. I remember seeing bloodhounds going up to houses and then using it to see if they were in there,
Hmm.
but it just didn't catch on. Oh, one more thing. The PS Plus games for this month, for March.
Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't do that either. What are they?
Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces.
I haven't played Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. Or I
Neither
don't
have
know if
I.
it's a remake or not.
I think it's remastered. I don't think they can remake that. Game was fine as it is.
Yeah, as a remaster though, it looks like a remake. If you just look at
Ah,
the comparison, it looks like a remake, but I think it's a remaster.
yeah. But by the way, I'm definitely playing that.
That game that's one of those beautiful games.
Yeah. And there's Sonic Forces, Kuya John. We can make our own character and stand next to Sonic.
I wonder if the movie would have done well, they should have tried having that as a PS Plus game before the movie came out.
Will that help?
I don't see how it would not help.
I think they're trying to ride off the movie's tails and putting out the Sonic.
Oh, the other way around?
Yeah, the other way around.
But how does that make sense? Because they're giving it away, though.
You have a good point there.
Yeah, well, it's definitely around the movie.
What if it's for kids? Like right after they see the movie, they like the movie and they get this free Sonic Forces game. And they try to go through the Sonic line. Actually, how many games did they even release for Sonic and PS4?
I don't care.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know why they did that.
I feel like maybe they released on PS4 three or 4 games. I think it's
Yeah,
three games. There's Sonic Mania. I guess I do care a little bit. Sonic Mania, which is actually interesting because it was made by a fan.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fan-made game, literally a fan-made game published by Sega.
Huh.
I mean, he had help from the team, but they let him work on it. I think he
It's pretty
was
dope.
the head of the project. I'm not sure. And then you have Sonic Forces, and I think there is another one. I just don't know the name of it.
Like Boom.
Sonic Boom,
I'm guessing here.
whatever.
Yeah, I only brought it up as a joke, but yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, definitely gonna dive into that. See if I can knock it off this week.
They're probably just trying to strengthen the brand of him. The movie comes out and they check out the game for free. Maybe they'll buy Sonic Mania.
Hmm. Well, I'm done on my end. How about you?
Yeah, me too. All right, so you want to call it then?
I am. Yeah, let's call it.
All right. So this has been episode 7 of Peer Inward. Thanks for joining me, Derek.
Anytime.
My name is John Sunyo,
And
and
I'm Derek.
have a good have a good day. Have a good Sonic day.